This is Hannibal here from The Hannibal TV on YouTube, and this is a professional wrestling / combat sports news update. Dave Meltzer put out his Wrestling Observer this week, the first one of 2025. Raw is off the USA Network after 32 years of the program running on cable television. Apparently, as far as 2024 goes for WWE attendance, keep in mind this was a year where they did less house shows than ever. Most of the house shows, especially towards the end of the year, were only in foreign places. They did a Christmas house show tour, but it was mostly just TV tapings. So that is kind of one of the reasons that's a bit smoke and mirrors. They're saying they average 10,000 fans per show, more than 10,000 fans per show since the first time since 2001. But in 2001, they were running like 4 or 5 times a week. And there was different crews running at the same time. Like at various points in time, there have been up to 3 WWE crews a night running house shows. But now with house shows done, obviously more people go to the TV tapings and non-televised tapings. And now that they're not going to the smaller towns anymore, more people will drive to go to wrestling. So they'll drive from outside towns if they're super fans to go to the cities. So I guess that works for them because they can say they got a higher attendance. It's up at 19.8% from 2023's numbers. But again, they ran a lot more events in 2023. AEW, the WWE's competition, dropped. They dropped for their Dynamite tapings almost 27% in attendance, and Collision, which is almost a dead show at this point, dropped 38.7% in attendance. So almost 40%. They did have a pay-per-view last week from Orlando that had 7,000 fans, including complimentary tickets. Adam Copeland, aka Edge, returned at that pay-per-view. He now is going to be known as Cope, and he's in his 50s. They've also re-signed the 57-year-old Jeff Jarrett, and they've signed the Costco guys, which, by the way, I have more YouTube subscribers than the Costco guys for all the hoopla you hear about the Costco guys. I've like double almost their YouTube subscribers, but Tony Khan, I guess, has a hard on for them for whatever reason. And they are now in the opening of Dynamite, which again, they've bought the rights to. I'm so excited and I just can't hide it for Dynamite, a song from 43 years ago. Rampage has officially been canceled. AEW Dynamite this week from Asheville, North Carolina, which is the home of Edge and FTR, only had just over 3,000 fans. It was a Fight for the Fallen special. It's an 8,000 plus seat arena. Tony Khan had a press conference this week, and he said when asked about Ricky Starks, who is one of the missing wrestlers, there's a lot of missing wrestlers in AEW that are under contract and rarely used. He was asked about Ricky Starks, and he says, as far as what's going on with him, it, quote, remains to be seen. So again, why they keep these guys under contract? I guess Ric Flair said over the week that Tony Khan has more money than God. So I guess that's just the case where you can have wrestlers under contract and just never use them, and it doesn't bother you that you're paying these guys to not use them, especially now that one of the shows has been canceled. They used to have 3 shows. Now Rampage has been canceled. They only have 2 shows, but they're not doing any mass releases or anything. So there's going to be even more wrestlers sitting at home doing nothing than ever. Ric Flair wants to have one more match. No doubt. No doubt he wants to keep wrestling. I mean, the consensus of his last final match was that it was horrible, and he claimed that he passed out during the match. Good afternoon or good morning to you, Just Humble 85. I I wouldn't guess a lot of people watch AEW on Max because I haven't heard much. I think that company really has zero buzz about it these days. When the biggest news of the week is you've obtained the rights for a 43-year-old song as your theme song, and nobody's talking about what's going on other than you've re-signed Jeff Jarrett, who's 57. Where else was he going to go? Where else was he going to go? Honestly, it's not like WWE is going to take him and put him in the run for the WWE title. I'm not saying they shouldn't sign him because he's a name and he's a lot more known than a lot of their guys who there's so many guys on their roster who nobody has any idea who they are, yet they make very good money for doing nothing. So at least Jeff Jarrett, people know. SmackDown in Tampa, December 27, had a very good crowd, 11,834. Raw, December 30th in Houston, 14,521. So Christmas week crowds are very good. Conor McGregor is teasing that he's going to have a boxing match with Logan Paul in India, financed by a guy that is worth $96 billion and is the richest man in Asia. So, Large 23 said he saw the show and it was garbage. There you go. I'm going to be posting a bunch of new matches on this channel that have not been posted public before. In the coming days, I got interviews coming up with Scotty Riggs, Lance Von Erich, and very likely another new one with Greg Valentine. So please subscribe and have a great afternoon. I'm heading off to the gym.